is Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.
A perfect setting for playoff football. The wintry mix coming down, starting in South Philadelphia as Divisional Sundays starts with the Rams and Eagles here on NBC. And at the best weekend of football all year continues. We've got 6 teams that still have a chance to win Super Bowl 59. In the AFC, the Ravens and Bills coming up tonight. The winner moves on to visit the Chiefs, who made their 7th straight AFC championship. And after Washington shocked the world and Detroit last night, the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC now runs through Philly, with the winner of our game hosting the Commanders next Sunday. Meanwhile, 2K say they call him. Yeah, he's ready for another big game. He's led the Eagles to one of their best seasons in franchise history as they try to reach the NFC title game for the 2nd time in 3 years. Meanwhile, the Rams, you know who they're led by, Super Bowl winning quarterback Matthew Stafford, looking to pull the upset and continue to give their fans a reason to smile. And the quarterback of the Eagles, number 1, Jalen Hurts, just hitting the field as the Eagles look to stamp a ticket to the NFC Championship game. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Lincoln Financial Field. Maria Taylor alongside Devin McCourty, Jason Garrett, and the entire group is here in Philly because we are celebrating our last show of the season and a great matchup that we have and a great story to tell, Jason, with these Los Angeles Rams. They're wearing LAFD on their jerseys and on their shirts right now as they represent all the fine men and women that have risked their lives fighting those fires, but they've been through a lot to make it to this moment, and you spent some time with Sean McVay to talk it over.
You know, tragic times out there in LA, and I'm just amazed by Sean McVay's leadership. When they went out to practice on Thursday, the team could see the fires up in the hill. Sean McVay stands in the middle of the field and says, team, come on up. We're not going to practice today. Sometimes there are more important things than football. Told them all to connect with their families, go home, do what they needed to do. He showed the team and everybody in that organization that he cared about them, and they responded. Great week of practice, and they played their best game against Minnesota last week.
An unbelievable performance, and now to have to do it all over again, the celebration of families, and now you have to go play against Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Over 250 yards the last time you played against him, so they have an unbelievable task at hand coming to Philadelphia, playing against this team, but still a great story coming from LA.
No doubt.
And they've got unbelievable talent on their sideline as well. They've got Cooper Kupp, a Super Bowl MVP, and a little while earlier he actually caught up with Chris Sims. Take a listen.
All right, this team, you've been through a lot the last 2 weeks. How's it affected your preparation?
Yeah, I mean, you got to kind of go with the flow of things. I mean, it's just very fluid. I think the Rams have prioritized the families. The guys just understand that there's a lot going on at home right now, taking care of us. And the nice thing is you do have something. You come in every day, and there's a period of time where it's just, hey, we're here, feet are here, we have a task at hand. Let's just get to work.
Well, Cooper Kupp looking to have an impact on this game. Jalen Hurts, you know he will. The ball will be in his hands, making his 7th playoff start here tonight at Lincoln Financial Field. Meanwhile, outside, they're used to braving the weather, unlike us studio folks. Jack, Tony, and Rodney, good afternoon, fellas.
Yeah, you heard them in there. The season of Saquon and Philly, but A.J. Brown still found his way to 1,000 yards. He was quiet in the wild card round. Really, his biggest moment was reading that motivational book between plays.
Yeah, just make it a priority to get A.J. Brown the ball. This offense has consistently faced a lot of loaded boxes, a lot of 8-man boxes. He has a lot of one-on-one opportunities, quick screens, hitches, comebacks. Just get him the football, Coach.
Well, you say that, and I think the guy under the most amount of pressure is Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, because a perfect game for them is 40 runs and 20 passes. But that won't keep the receivers happy. That won't keep these fans happy. But Kellen's got to dial up those runs for Saquon.
And the Rams, they spend the least amount of money in the entire league on defense. So talk to me about this youth, the young group, and what you've seen. 9 sack
The 2 outside linebackers I'm paying close attention to. Jared Verse has been outstanding in the run game, but Byron Young, number 0, he's the guy that they seem like they could take advantage of, and they were running toward his way.
They got a tough matchup with this big offensive line, though. They're going to have their hands full.
We'll get into it as we go. Saquon Barkley be running behind that offensive line. LA and Philly, how about a snowstorm on Divisional weekend? It's a party in Philadelphia.
Football Night in America is brought to you by Progressive, the right call to protect your home and car.
It's Divisional Sunday. We're getting you set for the Rams and the Eagles. NFC Championship game is on the line, and the winner of this will be hosting the Washington Commanders after the beauty of the game that they put on the field in Detroit. A night to remember for Jaden Daniels for sure. We'll go to the second quarter to start out. Daniels finds Scary Terry.
14-10 football game. Jaden Daniels makes every night work right now. He's incredible. Little screen pass, Terry McLaurin off to the races, touchdown, and that started the shootout.
And as amazing as it was for Jaden Daniels, a scary night for Jared Goff.
How about this Washington Commanders defense? Quan Martin steps up right here. 17-14 game. Don't just get the interception, young man.
Yeah, safety.
The end zone. And the best play about this is, Jared Goff, you want to go make a tackle? Meet Frankie Louvu.
Yeah, he took a hard hit there. He would actually be looked at in the tent, but come right back. And then, again, he's intercepted.
Big play. Mike Sanders showed right before the half as Detroit was trying to get points, shuts them down.
Big play.
Goff had 4 total turnovers in this one. All right, third quarter, 3-point game. Daniels on 4th and 2.
Yeah, Dan Quinn told his team early we're going to go there and we're going to take this game. You see the Daniels run. This is late in the ball game. Detroit, 12 guys on the field, gives Washington another first down. And one more time, 4th and 2, put it in Daniels' hand, and he comes through.
Commanders converted 3 of 4 4th downs. Dan Campbell, after this one, distraught.
People don't know, what they go through. You have to get up. Bodies beat, mentally stay locked in and do those things. So, long season.
What happened on the 12-man field penalty?
It's my fault. It's my fault.
Well, heartbreaking loss for the Detroit Lions. We knew their defense had issues. We saw Washington move the ball on them all night. What let them down was their offense. They had to be the unit that carried the squad. Unfortunately, Jared Goff had his worst game of the season, and they blew some opportunities in some big moments.
And how about this Commanders team? Young, not much experience. Experience doesn't matter when you're playing good football. This team continues to make the plays that they need to make at the right time. They win the most hostile environment and got to win against the Lions.
Experience doesn't matter, but leadership does. That guy right there, Dan Campbell, that's why they love playing for him. This guy's emotionally invested. He takes accountability for things. I'm amazed by the leadership of Washington, new ownership, new GM, new head coach, new quarterback. That's why they've had success. The leadership there, second to none.
Incredible.
And how about they're going to the NFC Championship? And for the first time in 33 years, Jaden Daniels wasn't alive. That was when they won the Super Bowl. That was 1991. And credit to the guts of that rookie. And rookies like Mike Sarensill as well, making big plays for the Commanders. All right, let's get a PFT update brought to you by Accenture. Mike Florio with the Lions officially out. Our attention turns to the futures of their coordinators. What's the latest?
Well, with offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, he has firmly been in phase 1 of his process, but now that the Lions have been eliminated, he can move on to phase 2. Evaluating teams like the Raiders, the Bears, the Jaguars, all have interviewed him virtually. His top factor continues to be alignment with the front office, and another option for him is to just stay put in Detroit. Last night's loss could be a factor. It's too early to know which way that goes. And then defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, he's had virtual interviews with the Jets, Jaguars, Raiders, Saints, Bears. Some would say last night's 45 points allowed by the Lions could hurt him. It didn't hurt Dan Quinn last year when the Cowboys gave up 48 to the Packers. Glenn is in play, and a lot of folks in the NFL are keeping an eye on the Jets, Maria.
All right, we'll keep an eye on you for the latest for sure. The Eagles are running out. We're hearing the fans getting a little bit louder. Let's turn our attention to the AFC. Chiefs now 2 wins away from a 3-peat that Kevin said they'll never have.
Here they go.
And here comes Travis Kelce.
Well, Travis Kelce wide open in the middle of the field. It's playoff time, so of course Kelce's wide open. Big play here. Had his best game of the year yesterday in Divisional Saturday.
Yeah, and when 15 is feeling comfortable, finding that guy right there, it's hard to stop.
But Maria, can we just guard Travis Kelce? Of all things to do, guard him. He's out there shimmying, dancing.
You can't guard him, Dad. John Wooden described competitive greatness. Be your best when your best is needed. 7 catches, 117 yards. He's off the chart.
This is insane.
First ballot.
Okay, that's insane throw. And we're so used to it, it's ridiculous.
You're a historian. That's Kenny Stabler to Clarence Davis 50 years ago.
That looks better than Kenny Kenny Stabler. And
Guys, talk defense. Talk defense. George Karlaftis. How about Spagnuolo and his defense? They were all over C.J. Stroud.
Yes, 8 sacks in that one against C.J. Stroud. And with that win, Andy Reid becomes the 4th coach to reach 300 career wins. Don Shula, George Halas, and Bill Belichick are all on that Mount Rushmore. All right, it's time for today's DraftKings Sportsbook 3-play. Matthew Berry, who do you have?
Hey, Maria, it is cold, and I got to be honest with you, the only thing worse than standing around holding a microphone in the cold is being in the cold trying to tackle Saquon Barkley. I expect him to get a ton of work today, and in a game in which they are home favorites by almost a touchdown, I expect Saquon Barkley gets into the end zone as part of that work. Give me an anytime touchdown for Saquon Barkley. Staying with Philadelphia, so much was made last week about A.J. Brown and the book signing, his lack of usage. Listen, when there's been a squeaky wheel issue like this previously, the next game Brown gets a ton of targets. Honestly, he almost always gets a ton of targets. Get this, on the year, A.J. Brown has seen 33% of Philadelphia's targets. That's the second highest rate in the NFL. Expect Philly to get A.J. Brown involved early and often today, giving 5 catches for A.J. Brown today. And finally, I'm taking under 50.5 points. That's an alt line. Both defenses playing well. Weather should make things tougher. I'm not expecting a shootout. I think Philly's going to look to grind this out. So give me the under. The under, A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. That is my DraftKings 3-play for today, Maria.
All right, appreciate it, Matthew. And our thoughts are always with Los Angeles right now as they recover from the devastation of the LA fires. And this week, Rams wideout Cooper Kupp supported the wildfire relief efforts by pledging to match public donations, which will generate an additional $1 million. That's just one example of the NFL family coming together over the last couple of weeks. We'll be right back. Getting set for Rams, Eagles, and Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, 28 total touchdowns, 3 turnovers over the last 12 games, Devin.
This guy's been incredible, and the big thing for me is him running the ball today. I think they're going to use Saquon Barkley and him in this running game, and Jalen Hurts is dangerous as a runner.
Matthew Stafford on the other side of the ball, of course, is one of 2 quarterbacks that's won a Super Bowl in these playoffs. He's ready for this moment. He's going to have a big day. This is an all-time arm from Matthew Stafford. I don't think the elements are going to bother him, and his connection with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua is going to be crucial today.
It'll be a treat today.
It will be, Maria.
All right, Chris, the elements might not bother him, but this Eagles defense, the Jets might. A big reason why the Eagles are playing so well and in the divisional round is because of this defensive turnaround behind Vic Fangio. Last season, they ranked near the bottom of the league in several major categories. This season, a complete 180. They lead the NFL in total defense for the first time since 1991. As we go on the field, presented by Progressive. And Jack, you know it all starts with those Georgia guys, right, up front.
Maria, Howie Roseman understands it well. Last few years, 3 first-round picks on Georgia Bulldogs to build that defensive front. And Jalen Carter, he's the leader of the group.
Yeah, I mean, and this defense has gotten a lot better because he's brought a toughness, an attitude, a nastiness that they haven't had. When you watch tape on him, he's getting that Aaron Donald type treatment. He's constantly getting double-teamed, and he's getting triple-teamed. He's an outstanding player.
How about Nolan Smith? 4.39 rushing the passer. These pass rushers are evolving, Rod.
Yeah, I love Nolan Smith. I love him because he does it all. He plays special teams. He can stop the run. I think he's a really underrated pass rusher. But his coach told me, his coach said he's the real deal.
He is the real deal. Nakobe Dean, though, that's the big loss. Knee injury for him. The linebacker going to be out for the remainder of the season. What's so tough about that one?
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Coach Fangio, and I asked him about Nakobe. And the first thing he did is put his head down, and he kind of shook his head in disappointment. Both backup linebackers will play, but I'm anxious to see Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I played against his dad. His dad was smart, and I believe this kid can play.
And we were watching warm-ups. It'll be Zach Bond, the star linebacker, that'll wear that green dot and take over all communication for that defense. Of course, that defense has been on the mind of Sean McVay all week. He is already a Super Bowl champion, as you know, but nothing prepares you for the challenges that LA has faced these last couple of weeks, and Jason Garrett went to learn about his experience.
Did you have to change
how you coached the team last week to get them ready for that game.
You're just authentic about, man, this is a strange situation, guys. You know, let's make sure that we take care of, number one, our families, friends, loved ones, everybody's okay. Once you check that box, now let's have, you know, our ability to be totally and completely present. Let's have the right urgency. Let's enjoy the opportunity that you guys have earned. I was just proud of the way these guys handled it, but I wasn't surprised.
Was there any moment where you said to yourself, I don't know if we're going to be mentally ready? There's so much stuff going on.
You know, I don't know that I felt that, but when we're getting ready on Thursday, we're practicing here, and then you see behind our facilities huge smoke go off in the distance in the Calabasas area, Woodland Hills, that affects a lot of our players, their families, a lot of staff, coaches. You could feel there was a real distraction. I was distracted, but our guys have just handled it beautifully. I don't know that I ever felt like it was too much, but it was certainly a lot at certain points.
How about balancing using this as a rallying cry, but also maintaining the proper perspective for what people are actually going through?
That's exactly right. And what we talked about last week was let's represent. What kind of energy, what kind of mental and physical toughness are we putting on tape that when people watch, they say, man, I want to root for that team. They understood that that was a privilege to be able to provide that temporary relief for people. They represented the city the right way, and I was damn proud of the group, and I don't think it's by coincidence that it ended up resulting the way that it did.
You said after the game, we're built for this.
Yeah. All right, but hey, we're built for this, man.
You get back here, you got a short week. How do you get the team mentally ready to go at it?
Before I was going to address the team last week, before we were getting ready to go to Arizona, you know, I was frustrated. And you're going to be real with the guys. And for a lot of different reasons, you feel behind in the preparation. You're uncertain about just, you know, what's going on. And then I looked down and I said, man, I think this team is built for this. They're built for different adversities. They're a resilient group. They've handled a bunch of different things throughout the course of this journey we've been on. And I believe that. And that's all they've shown me up to this point. There's a lot of reasons for us to say we're not going to be ready to go. It's a quick turnaround. It's at Philly. Weather different than what we're accustomed to. But we're not going to allow that to be an excuse not to be ready to roll. But we're looking forward to the challenge.
Man, Sean McVay has really faced the challenge. He seems built for it. And actually, McVay's family joined the family of former Rams offensive lineman Andrew Whitworth to contribute $400,000 to help relief efforts. And I'm here with two coaches. You guys understand what leadership is and what the moment that they're having to bear witness to. How do you describe, Jason, the job that Sean McVay and this Rams team is doing holding up through it?
Well, I texted Sean after the game, and I said, Sean, for all your accomplishments and the great victories you've had as a coach, this, for me, is the best coaching job you have ever done. You know, the mental intensity and focus you need to play and play well in this league, it's very challenging. That's your number one job as a coach. And for him to take care of everybody in that organization and then get everybody refocused to play as well as they did against Minnesota was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, Jason, he's been outstanding. You were just out there. I went his second year to interview him for the show. And at that time, Maria, he was still young, but everybody in the building was raving about Coach McVay. And it wasn't about X's and O's or his play calling. It was how he was doing things, how he was relating to people in the building. It was just amazing.
You know, he's evolved remarkably well. If you think about them, 2021, they win the Super Bowl, 5-12 in the next year. He's contemplating quitting. And he wanted to recapture that feeling that he had about making everybody better around him that he had when he first went there in 2017. I think that evolution showed up here this last week.
And listen, go ahead.
The other thing I love about him, he has developed so many young coaches, and losing them off the staff and then just replacing them and growing, that's the sign of a real
fantastic,
leader.
no doubt.
Not to mention a turnaround this season. They lost to the Eagles in Week 12, and then they rattled off 5 straight wins. Let's go into our Lowe's home team help, though. And, guys, talk about how you think Sean McVay is going to attack this number one defense.
That's right. It's a tough task. It's the best defense in football. The Rams historically will take some shots early on in the football game, but I do think running the football with Kyron Williams is going to be huge. Chew up the clock, keep Jalen Hurts and the offense on the sidelines, and the dink and dunk surgical pass game to Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
And that's what Philadelphia forces you to do, to have really good pass rush, and they play a lot of off-zone coverage, not giving up the big play, but by the time they stick on those receivers, yeah, Jalen Carter, those big guys up front, they're coming.
Definitely. This is an offense that can pull this off between McVay's system and Stafford's experience. Watch out for him, Maria.
All right, coming up next, we're going to hear from Saquon Barkley, the Eagles offense. He's been putting up video game numbers. Rodney's going to do a little chat with him. We'll be right back.
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the road to victory.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high. Watch our Eagles fly. Fly, Eagles, fly. On the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
This is going to be a big boy matchup.
Backpedaling, fires to the end zone, touchdown! And Lamar Jackson does it again! Are you kidding me? He's a beast with a capital B, and he would not be denied!
If that's not Superman, I don't know what is.
Have you ever seen that one before?
Oh, just a casual couple of MVP candidates going at it in the divisional round for a chance to go to the AFC Championship game. These two teams have met already once this season. The Ravens got the best of the Bills, but what do you expect to see in round 2?
Baltimore and their style is a little bit of Buffalo's kryptonite. Buffalo loves to play with extra defensive backs on the field. But when you have to tackle Derrick Henry and they bring in a 300-pound fullback and Patrick Ricard, you want to get those little guys off the field and bring more big guys on to stop the run.
You know, we keep talking about this MVP battle. It's almost like 2-on-1. It's Lamar and Derrick Henry. This guy behind you, 22, he's something else. As great as Josh is, as great as their offense has been, I don't know, it's a hard thing for them to slow that train down coming from Baltimore.
You guys are right. It is the kryptonite to the Buffalo Bills. It's a tough matchup, but they do have Josh Allen, and they do have the best supporting cast around him that he's ever had in his career. They can run the ball. They can make big plays. What do they do? Do they chew up clock, or are they aggressive? To me, that's going to be the big question in this matchup.
And you're going to find the answer in Orchard Park after our game is over here at Lincoln Financial. So, yeah, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, a couple of MVP candidates. Saquon Barkley was on the MVP conversation list as well. He caught up with Rodney just moments ago.
You walked up to me and you had such a serious look in your face. You look really focused.
Of course. It's playoff football. We're home. The energy's amazing. This is things we dream about.
What's different about facing this Rams defense the second time around?
Yeah, I mean, we know they're going to come out with something, especially with how much success we had them on the first time. But at the end of the day, we just got to stick to our assignments, adjust to what they're doing, and when we play our football, we're hard to beat.
No snow right now, but snow is still in the forecast. Has your routine changed? Do you change your cleats? Anything change in terms of your preparation?
Yeah, definitely changed my cleats, but at the end of the day, you just got to go back to your details. No matter if it's snow on the ground or it's not, can't cut wild. Got to stay balanced, stay underneath yourself, and to trust your fundamentals, and that's a game plan.
Thank you. All the best to you.
Yeah, Saquon says it doesn't matter. Just check his numbers, okay? For the historic stats that he's put together this season. Saquon Barkley became the 9th player in NFL history and first ever Eagle to rush for 2,000 yards, okay? He was just the 6th player ever to have 7 games with at least 140 rushing yards, and he had 8 touchdowns runs at least 10 yards where nobody put a hand on him, and that's twice as many as any other player so far this season. But as we all know, it's a team effort to allow Saquon to be great and be a giant success, and part of that comes from the big guys up front. This week, Devin had a chance to meet up with the Eagles tackles, Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata, and something tells me they had a pretty good time.
We're guaranteed 3 more hours together.
You seem super close. Is there anything y'all do as a cohesive unit to build that bond? I'm going to name somebody. You guys give me one word about the offensive line. So we'll start with Jordan.
Monster.
Oh, all right, we'll go right back. Lane.
Legend. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mekhi Becton.
I'm going to say underdog. Yeah.
Because nobody expected that.
First time making the playoffs.
Landon Dickerson.
That's Bryce Big.
That first snap to the last whistle.
How about Cam Jurgens?
You want grit? Nothing really bothers you. Great composure.
Tush push. We know it's brutal for the center. You guys are on the island. Is a tush push bad for you guys too?
That's bad for the guards in the center.
You already know, man. You don't think Jalen goes left, man. That left side goes left. You already know, man. Come on.
I go left too.
Come on.
Best in the world. Let's start early and often.
I got some things I want to show you guys.
Oh, man.
It's all good stuff. What emotions come from this picture?
How easy Landon picked up Saquon.
How about the 2,000 yards?
I'd say pride, yeah. A lot of pride in that photo right there.
We're not done yet. Come on.
this play where he jumped. Does this describe blocking for a guy like Saquon Barkley, that he can do things like this?
Never know where lightning's going to strike.
How do you jump over a guy backward?
You got a chance every time he touches. That's what you feel.
We got to witness it right in front of me.
I watched him for about 5 years. Man, never thought he'd be here.
I brought you guys a gift, something to hang in the offensive line room. We got something that we do called Sunday Fun Day, and we thought this would be pretty cool.
That is great. Y'all did me dirty with the wrinkles and everything. That's crazy.
I got the wrinkles now. You'll get them here in about 5 years. You keep playing, you'll get a few more.
I look like I just woke up from a nap. You guys did me dirty. This is not a gift. Oh, my goodness.
I look a little small there. But
yeah.
the key when I sat down with these guys, they're the rock amongst all the chaos that happens around Philly. Everyone knows you can count on those two guys to be ready and calm everybody else down.
And they counted on him week 12 against the Rams. Jason, Saquon went off for 255 yards, 302 yards from scrimmage. How did it all happen?
Well, they just dominated the line of scrimmage up front time and time again. And give Kellen Moore credit. He kept handing the ball to Saquon Barkley. Watch these guys. Watch the line of scrimmage move. The white shirts knocking the blue shirts 5 yards down the field. If you give Saquon Barkley that kind of space, you're in trouble.
All you have to do is be out here in pregame warm-ups and see the size of the Eagles' offensive line, and you go, oh my gosh, this is a special unit. This is an all-time great offensive line. The two tackles are all pros. They got great guard play, center play. They are dominant, and they don't even do that much in the run game.
And then Saquon, these guys are free. They can make the tackle. He makes one cut, another cut, and next thing you know, you can't catch him. Don't forget how special he is. Even though this offensive line is great, he is a special, special player.
The greatest running games in the history of football is a combination of the guys up front and the runner itself, and this is a fantastic example. The other part of the offensive line is not only they block the defensive linemen, they get to the second and third level, and if Saquon gets that kind of space, it's over.
How many people do the Rams have to commit to the run today to leave themselves vulnerable on the outside with Devontae Smith?
58. 58's the number, Susie. 58 guys.
He's the type of running back you do. You need everybody at the point of attack because he's patient and then he takes advantage.
Jason just said we got to go play defense. We need some extra people out there. Let's talk more about how the Rams will handle this Eagles offense, Jack.
Yeah, Maria, Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula, he has done a job in his debut season, but as you just saw, Philly, the biggest offensive line in football by the numbers, the most productive running back behind it, those receivers on the outside can win. How do you defend this group?
Well, Chris Shula's guys are small and they're fast, but what has to happen is they've got to bring more people to the line of scrimmage. You're not going to stop Saquon Barkley ride with the front seven. You got to get Cam Curl, the safeties involved.
Coach, first of all, I'm not playing any nickel. I'm playing all regular people. But I'm also walking the safeties. I'm not going to have a deep middle safety. I'm walking them in the box. I'm going to have as many guys close to the line of scrimmage. The other part of that is in the first game, the DBs did not tackle well. They play with three safeties. They have to tackle well. So that's something I'm paying close attention to.
And what you have to do after that first game is realize we cannot let Saquon Barkley beat us. We've got to do whatever it takes to force the ball into Jalen Hurts' hand, make him throw the ball to win.
I saw the Eagles offensive line warming up out here, Coach, and they were practicing taking on these double teams. And you see 2 6'8" guys coming down on a defensive tackle. I just don't think they can stop them.
That's it. After your Saquon interview, first thing you did too, walk over, give that offensive line some love before the start of the game. And the Eagles offensive coordinator and Kellen Moore, he had all the answers the last time these two teams met. But now there's questions about where he might end up next. Mike Florio, what are you hearing?
Well, Jack, Kellen Moore has interviewed with 3 teams so far, but everybody is watching the Dallas Cowboys. Quarterback Dak Prescott wants continuity, and now that Mike McCarthy is gone, Kellen Moore knows that offense. Kellen Moore was there 5 years as an assistant, 4 as offensive coordinator. He's the name that people are watching the most closely around the NFL, but as we know with the Cowboys, nobody knows what's going to happen until Jerry Jones makes his decision.
All right, thanks, Florio. It is time for Barry's Bet, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Matthew, you're looking at the inner excellence of A.J. Brown.
Yeah, Maria, you heard me talk earlier about A.J. Brown's massive target share, and that's really true early in games. Get this. In the first quarter of this season, A.J. Brown is averaging nearly 20 yards, especially given the book controversy. They're going to get involved early, so give me A.J. Brown to get at least 10 receiving yards in the first quarter. By the way, you can ladder bet this up to 15, 20, and more at plus money. That is my Barry's bet for today. A.J. Brown 10 in the first quarter.
DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. And during the playoffs, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app and use promo code SNF when you sign up.
Divisional Sunday set to kick off soon. The winner of Rams-Eagles will host Washington in the NFC Championship next week. Meanwhile, the Chiefs awaiting tonight's winner between the Ravens and the Bills. We're waiting for kickoff right now, and so is Devontae Smith, the Slim Reaper, getting ready and set to make big plays for this Eagles offense as Matthew Stafford in his 16th season, 4th with the Rams, getting a little ball skill.
No sleeves. I like a quarterback with no sleeves.
There you go. Now listen, the Rams have had to overcome a lot of adversity to make it to this moment today. Remember, this game being played amid the wildfires in the LA area. And our friend, our colleague, Al Michaels, the voice of so many big sports moments over the last half century, has watched up close as his city and so many of its people have been affected.
I've lived in Southern California most of my life. Fires here are commonplace, but these were of an unimaginable magnitude.
This was a Category 1 fire hurricane. Everything was melting.
I never thought I would live through something like this.
What was left of the school was just a couple of brick pillars. Everything else was burned down.
Amidst the devastation, there have been so many heroes. The firefighters, the helicopter pilots who have been absolutely incredible, and all who've helped the community try to get back on its feet.
People who were complete strangers before this disaster happened have now bonded.
You can see the fight in every single citizen in the city.
A lot of different people that's stepping up, doing their part to, to help the community. So it's all about staying together through, tough times.
Thank you for coming out.
Definitely.
Thanks for having us. Have a safe trip. Thank you.
Last Monday night, the Rams brought some respite and to many joy to this devastated region.
Every time I think about our win, it gets me through the uncertainty of everything that's happening.
One more week. We're going to keep giving them hope to the city, baby.
It provides a little uplift for those that are hard at work on the front lines.
Recovery will take a long time, but diversions are most welcome. And today provides another such chance to watch the Rams take another step on what they hope is a journey to the Super Bowl.
You represented exactly what we wanted to be about, man. A city that's going through a lot of different stuff that can look to you guys and say, I'm proud of that group.
Our thank you to Al for sharing his perspective. And Al, we're with you and everyone else in Southern California, including the producer of that piece, Ollie Stokes, who lost his home in the fires. And now, with a win today, the Los Angeles Rams would host the NFC Championship next week. If it does happen, the game is scheduled and expected to be played in LA, subject to the ongoing monitoring of the situation. It is now time for the home team picks, brought to you by Lowe's. America is going with the Eagles. 59% of America believes it will be the Eagles that are flying away to the NFC Championship game. Meanwhile, apparently everyone on football right in America also is. Okay, let's talk through it. What is the most important thing that's going to happen here, Jack, Tony, and Rodney?
Well, Maria, I'm taking the Eagles. I love Sean McVay, his play calling, his creativity, but I think that offensive and defensive line power of Philadelphia is just going to be too much, right?
I agree with you, Coach, but I agree with you, Coach.
So the NFC West Championship champion meets the NFC East champion. Those were today's home team picks, brought to you by Lowe's. We believe that this game will come down to this tough Eagles defense. Rams offense looking to get going. The winner will host the NFC title game against Washington next Sunday. We're waiting to see LA strong. Certainly trying to stand up strong here are the Rams.
Definitely. Hey, the Rams are going to have to run the ball and control the clock. The Eagles are the best team in football, also the biggest team in football.
I want to see which one of these defensive lines play the best and dominate the game.
The question for me in Philadelphia, hand the ball to Saquon, but A.J. Brown's got to make some plays in the passing game.
We'll see you at halftime.
This is Football Night in America, presented by Progressive.